Hey there. Hello, how do you do? My name is Harry Wetzel. Thanks for coming. It's the 80s, darling. November 11th, 1982. The first day I wake up in New York City. My dad and I drove in yesterday. We unpacked the rent-a-truck. He took off, and I stood there, standing on Steinway Street, knowing I'm on the street where I live. Yes. I went went upstairs to the apartment. My plan for today was to go to the Empire State Building. And that was the plan. That was the first thing I was going to do. I hit New York City. I'm going to go to the top of the Empire State Building and take a look at the world and show the world myself. Hi, I'm here to change the face of American theater. Yes, change the face of world theater, perhaps. Yes, I'm here. That was the plan. So, my roommates eventually woke up and we all sat around chatting. And I asked for directions. I wanted to go on my own. I wanted to jump in with both feet on my own. So, they gave me some subway tokens. Subway tokens were 75 cents those days. And I could get you a trip anywhere. If you never left the subway, you could ride all day for 75 cents. But you do have to leave the subway if you're in another part of town. Otherwise, you're just in the other subway station, which smells like a subway station. Certain subway stations smell like electricity and kerosene and urine and burnt pizza. Of course, that's sort of the smell of Manhattan on a summer day. Yes. Anyhow, it's an autumn day. It's November the 11th. My roommates give me some tokens and tell me how to get to the Empire State Building, and then you're pretty much on your own. All right. I had a subway map tucked away in my pocket. I didn't want to take it out and look at it when I was roaming around the city. You're obviously lost and just a target. But I had it on me just in case the cricket hit the fan. So I ride the subway into town. There's a few stops, and out in Astoria, Queens, the subway is an elevated train, and because it comes out of the ground out there, of course, as I just said, and you look at the skyline of Astoria. It's much shorter than New York. And there's bakeries and churches and bakeries. And eventually the train does loop down into the ground, and then you are a legitimate subway again. It's a lot of racket and a lot of jostling. Double R is the loudest subway line in the subway system of New York City, and if it isn't, it sounds like it. So I get eventually to my stop at Herald Square. I take my first steps on Manhattan, in Manhattan, under Manhattan. Anyhow, I take my first steps when I step off the subway and go up the flight of stairs. And when you're coming up the flight of stairs, you turn around, and there it is, a few blocks away, well, 2 blocks away, the Empire State Building. Yes. And this was the object of my affection. I've dreamed about going up to the top of there for some time now, and you do. It's very beautiful. You go in there, there's a lot of tourists gawking. You take the elevator up to the 86th floor, and then you eventually go to the 102nd floor, and you look at the world from up there. It's a beautiful autumn day. The trees all over the island and the trees in Central Park, which you can see, are just changing. It's fantastic. It's a gorgeous sunny day. Welcome to New York. Very nice. And I made a point to look up and see the top of the Empire State Building from the top of the Empire State Building. And yes, that's where Fay Ray was, right there. That's where King Kong was, right there. If you're me, you can't go to the top of the Empire State Building and not think about King Kong and not think about Fay Ray. It's just impossible. Speaking of King Kong, I must digress here. Um, it was 1973, in the 70s, baby. Yes. It was 1973, and my parents and I were driving across the country. We went from Michigan to California to visit some relatives and to see the sights along the way. Yes. Well, we were stopped one night in Yuma, Arizona, in a little hotel room. Big room with 2 double beds. Just one room, of course. Hotel room with a TV over in the corner. And when we got in there, we went to the local restaurant and had some dinner. And then we went back to the hotel room, and Harry Wetzel just, that's Dad, just went to sleep. He just laid down. My mother and I are still pretty much awake. So we turn on the television. There are 3 channels. It's the 70s, baby. And there are 3 channels, and we click and we click, and we find the movie King Kong. And it had just started it didn't start too long ago, just a few minutes ago. So we're like, well, this is fantastic. So we watched it. It's such a fantastic movie, and it's a great film too. It's brilliant technological innovations, and all that stop motion animation. And I had read about it because I was a movie fan, and of course I'm a fan of the cinema of the fantastic. Yes, and so we're watching and enjoying this fantastic movie, and then it ends. And then my mother turns to me and she says, "Poor King Kong. He was happy in his jungle." I never actually thought about it that way, but yeah, poor King Kong, he got kidnapped. So then we turn off the television and turn off the lights. I'm lying there in this Yuma, Arizona motel room. I'm trying not to cry as I not cry myself to sleep over that poor animated gorilla being kidnapped from Skull Island. "Poor King Kong," she said. "He was happy in his jungle." I'll never forget it. Anyhow, there I am at the top of the Empire State Building, looking up where the king was, where Fay Ray was lying when he put her down, because he put her down. Yeah, good thing, because the planes were coming. Anyhow, then I made note. Oh, this was fun. I made note of a certain street corner way down below. Well, of course it's way down below. But I made note of a certain street corner, and it was a few blocks over. And I saw there was a car there, stop sign, fire hydrant. I go, okay, this is what that looks like from up here. And this is what the building looks like from up here. Right. Make a note of that. File it away. I said to myself, right. So then you take the elevator back down and go in search of your street corner. Yes. And so I walked over, and I walked over, and I walked over, and I found it. I found the street corner, and I stood there at the car and the stop sign and the fire hydrant, and I looked up at the Empire State Building where I just was. And now I'm here, and this is what it looks like from down here. And then I imagine and remember what it looked like from up there. And now I look at the stop sign and the car and the fire hydrant, and this is what this looks like from down here. It was just so cool to me. It was. So I roamed around for a while after that. Found a little restaurant several blocks over, and you still had a gorgeous view of the Empire State Building, and it was called the Taste Good Restaurant. And yes, the food tastes good. After that, I roamed around a little bit more. I went down to St. Patrick's Cathedral, Yes. I go, there's another landmark. That's pretty cool. And so I went in there. I roamed all around it. It's a beautiful building, and it's huge. And I walked all up and down all the aisles, in and out. Just wanted to get a gander at this huge, beautiful cathedral. And I walked outside and walked around the block and walked around the building as best I could. I found a cove. There's a little cove, a little doorway tucked around a corner that you couldn't exactly see from the sidewalk because there was a partial wall there. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I went around the corner and sat on that little doorstep, the door stoop, and you can't see the sidewalk. This is fantastic. So I took out my little opera pipe. Yes, I did. And smoked dope on St. Patrick's Cathedral. Yes. All right. Then I went over to Rockefeller Center. Yes. That's got the famous statue of Prometheus. Yes. And I roamed around, saw a few more sights of the day. And then it was getting dark and my feet were getting to aching. I was walking around all bloody day. And I go, welcome to New York. You're going to be walking everywhere from now on. Oh, it was one of the perks of New York. You walk everywhere, and without even trying, you're a little bit more in shape. You're living in a very polluted city, and so you're breathing that. However, you're walking everywhere. I walked up and downtown. I walked from 10th Street to 94th Street when I lived there later on. And it's about a block a minute. So, it's a good long walk. That's at a nice pace. And if you clip it, you can go a little bit faster. But anyhow, I walked all over the city and I eventually found the Double R, because the stations aren't everywhere. And I didn't want to get out my subway map. I knew I could find it if I just roamed around long enough, and I did. And I got on a subway and took a train back to Astoria, Queens. Up in the elevated train out in the suburb, and to my station, which was the second to last stop on the Double R. Yes, Steinway Street, yes. And underneath the Steinway Street subway stop, there's a lovely little diner there. I said, oh, make note of that. This is a great breakfast joint. When you're on your way to Manhattan, you could stop here at the breakfast joint. Yes. Anyhow, I went back to the apartment and sat around drinking wine with my new roommates in my new apartment and my new city, New York City, on 11/11. That was my first day in New York City. Not too bad. I so look forward to talking with you again.